3, 2, and 1.
Hey, welcome back to LL&R, which that means love, learn, and reflect. I'm Anthony.
And I'm Jackie Jones.
So we're here to let you in once again. Today we're going to talk about affection.
Affection.
But before we get started, I know some of y'all probably wondering why I got this jacket on and this hat on, and it's because my wife is cheap and it's cold in here. So it ain't just because the Chiefs won the Super Bowl or like wearing Jordan, but it's because my wife is cheap.
It's not cold in here.
She just front because she got a new T-shirt on. They got the LL&R in there, merchandise. Thanks, sis, Leah. Merchandise. We appreciate you very much for that. But anyway, all right. Cheap being cheap is another episode.
Oh God.
So we gonna time out on
Frugal.
that. Cheap. She fancy. So today we're gonna talk about affection. So what you want to do, baby? You want to go first?
Well, you had the problem. I really didn't have a problem with affection.
What?
You had the problem with affection.
You had a problem, not me. I knew how to be affectionate.
Oh,
you had the problem.
I had a problem of forgiving it.
Yes.
Okay, well, tell me what your problem was with me.
Man, my problem was, when I needed just a little touch. I mean, I'm a manly man, but sometimes a brother still want that womanly touch, and you wasn't giving that. You know what I'm saying? And I was just kind of like, yo, G, I need some touch, cause I don't want to go get it from Kim and them from around the corner. I don't want to do all that. I need your touch. You my baby. I need your touch. So that's what I wanted. That's what my problem was. I was just like, yo. Then we got some other stuff on the agenda. Like, she didn't want to clip her brother's black toe, rub my feet when my feet was working 9 jobs. I was Jamaican in it out here. And I was like, yo, can I get my feet rubbed? She was just looking at my black toe like, ugh. So I'm like, dang. I was like, girl, we is married, better or for worse. You got to rub them feet. She didn't want to do that. So then another one I got. I'm sorry, babe.
It's
but
okay.
It
was me.
But
it's true.
I mean, if I got a pimple on my back or on my leg or wherever, and I wanted to, but she'd look at me like I'm crazy, like gas face. I'm like, yo, what's up with that? So what's up with that?
I don't know what was up with that. I had a lot of time to think about it, and I had to think about like what changed it for me. Like, why did I? First, do you think that I've gotten better? Because I feel like I've worked on my affection.
15% better. No, I'm just playing. No, I'm just joking.
Oh my God, I need to do a whole lot more.
You got some work to do, girl. You got some. No, you've done a whole lot better. You've done a whole lot better.
Yeah, I've had to put some effort in.
Yeah,
I literally had to put some effort into it.
Yes.
So I had to be more aware of what I'm not doing, and then actually be able to provide you your needs.
Right.
What happened for me is that I finally had a moment where I recognized that you were doing things for me without me pressing you for it. And then I would give you a problem when you would ask me to do something.
Right.
And so it's like I almost was like, okay, like this totally isn't fair. Like, and then I had to feel like why do I feel like that? Like, why do I treat them like that?
Right.
Why am I like, ugh, or have like an attitude like, cause I
would. She had mad attitude. I just didn't. My thing was, I just did not understand, or I didn't understand where it was coming from, and I was like, "Yo, like."
I didn't either. But
so
then, but then after, okay, so I had a chance to think about it, and then what I went back to is like our circumstances, and like then our circumstances were trash, and so and this is just a thought. It's really not, I'm not 100% sure of how I feel, but when I was just looking back over that time when I was like that, I'm like, was I like that because of how our circumstances were? Like, because we like our last episode was on
Yeah,
finances.
for sure.
Was I just not presenting my affection as in a way to cover up how I really felt about our circumstances, and so I wasn't really affectionate because on the inside I really wasn't feel like I was being taken care of.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, so what do you think? Do you think it was just more so because a lot of it was my fault as to why you didn't feel like you needed to? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think I might have just been silently upset or irritated by the whole situation.
Yeah.
And so then when you would ask me for more, then it escalated.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, this brother ain't pushing out more. Like, he asking for more.
Yeah. So if I had to think about it, I'm like, I think that's probably what it was. Like, I was already pressured in taking care of everything, and you were falling short. And so then when you would ask me for extra, then I was just like, dang, like how much more can I do?
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
right,
And
right.
even though when I think about it now, it was minor things and easy things, like, but then it was like an extra pile on of things to do for you.
Well, I mean, I and I think I felt that felt some kind of way because even though the circumstance, like it was trash and a lot of it was my fault, but I was still like, yo, I know this may be my fault, but I still need, you know what I'm saying? And I just did not want to be a bad guy and then try to do something different that'll mess up our dynamic even more. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So when you wasn't pushing that out, man, I was like super frustrated. I was like, man, what the Sam Fraggle Rock, man? Like, come on, man. Like I was upset. And, you know, as a man in nature, it makes them feel like, okay, if this woman ain't doing this, what woman would? You know what I'm saying? So you have to, I was, and that was in my thought process, you know what I'm saying? But it was just kind of like, wow, you know what I mean? And then too, I felt helpless just for the simple fact I wasn't pushing out like the man normally should, you know what I'm saying? So I was kind of in the, but I was like, man, she ain't doing this. Man, should I get over here? Because I know somebody that would, but that's stupid because I got me a good woman and Anthony, you ain't taking care of your business. You know what I'm saying? So it was weighing, yeah.
I mean, I had to weigh things too.
Yeah.
So I was weighing things like I'm having all this heaviness here and all this heaviness here, and then I'm trying to weigh and try to figure out how to keep everything stable.
Right.
And so you had to wait and I had to wait, and then we trying to also still keep a marriage and keep affection and love in there. It's not like I stopped loving you. It was just like the affectionate part wasn't there, and it was more difficult to give it. Like it's easier to be the receiver, like, but to actually give of yourself freely with no what's the word? Oh God, I can't think of the word. I don't know, just to give freely. That I forgot my thought, but
do you think that when I was weighing and you was weighing and like I was being quiet and not really voicing my stuff, do you think the disconnect was because of the lack of communication and that aspect of it? You know what I'm saying?
Say it again.
I'm saying, do you feel like I was weighing options, you was weighing options, mm-hmm. right? And we really weren't saying, we weren't saying none of this to each other at the time. So do you think the lack of communication is what led to not being cognizant of the affection that or lack thereof?
Because only thing it was, the conversation was that you wasn't receiving it, but it really wasn't like, but why?
Right.
Like it wasn't like an in-depth conversation, like why do you feel like you can't do this for me? You know what I'm saying? It was just like, you're not, why you don't want to cut my toenails? Why you don't want to pop my bumps?
Right.
Who wants to pop bumps?
Girl, you were supposed to be Dr. Pimple Popper.
I didn't want to be Dr. Pimple Popper. And I still don't want to be Dr. Pimple Popper, but I don't want to be Dr. Pimple Popper, but I will pop the pimple.
They fun.
It's to you.
Oh.
Not to me. But I mean, I put more, but instead of, do you feel like now, do I come to you with an attitude when you ask me to do things? Let's say, let's put a percentage on it.
No, you don't want me to put a percentage on it. Cause
Jones!
What? Okay, 25% better.
From the whole time, 25% better?
Yeah. G. Let me tell you, Jay. Jack. Let me tell you.
God.
Only reason because when I say it, this is you. Go get the lotion. Go get the Vaseline. Go get some tissue and some alcohol. Yeah, I was like, yep. Sometimes I ain't gonna be lying. I just like, man, forget it. Sometimes I just be like, forget it, man. I just knock stuff out, forget it. I don't even want you to do
What
it.
about the last time when you had?
Cause then you do it all jacked up sometimes too.
But did I do it like that last time?
Yeah.
No,
Hey, she be falling asleep too. And then 3 minutes. I'll be like, yo.
So he would ask me, that's not fair.
Okay.
So
Yeah, it is.
He would ask me to rub him to sleep. Like, I like your touch when I'm about to fall asleep. Rub me when you touch me so I can go to sleep.
Girl, I'm telling everybody that.
I'm sleepy myself. And so he want me to rub him so he can go to sleep. And so I'm like,
I gotta get up earlier than you.
And then my hand get weak. And then it's over. And I tried.
Am I being selfish? Was I being selfish? You think I was being selfish?
When you asking me for that when it's already bedtime?
Yes.
Not really, because I still try to do it. But leave me alone.
Snoring. Wake up, babe. But anyway, I don't know. Okay. I give you 56% better.
Okay, so out of 100, like, is it 56 of 100? Or is it 70, 30, 80, 20? Come on.
Nah, that's too high, G. You going too far.
Oh, man, I got a lot of work to do.
You got a lot of work to do.
What else can I do?
When I do it, you ain't got to get an attitude.
I don't have an attitude.
Get the lotion. Get the alcohol. Make sure you get some cotton balls.
I just went up there and got the cotton balls and the
Now I will say this last
and I plucked the hair out your nose. What?
Yes, you did. Okay.
Multiple.
Okay. Multiple times, girl.
Multiple nose hairs.
Twice. And that was the first time you even did that.
Give me some. Okay. First time. Without you asking, by the way.
However,
I seen it and I plucked it.
But that ain't a pimple.
Those are difficult.
Don't be cussing on camera.
I said those are difficult.
Jesus.
One thing that I had, leave me alone. This is all on me.
Yes.
This time.
and let me say this too. Let me just say this though, for real. Like, I love sex, but it wasn't for me. The affection wasn't sexual. You know what I'm saying? It was just for me. Because I know people would think as soon as you say affection, you may think, and people may think in sex.
Yeah, we're not talking about sex.
But we're not. But yeah, boy. But anyway,
because I understood that you wanted more than sex, and the sex part is easy.
Yeah.
To give your body before marriage, in fornication, like that. Well, for me. Like that was easier, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But now when you're pressing me for something more in a difficult time, then it was more difficult to provide you that affection when I say emotionally not there, you know what I'm saying? For affectionately not there. You
Right,
know what I'm
right,
saying?
right,
To give
right.
you those love deposits
Right. Mm-hmm.
that you wanted, like it wasn't easy
Right.
in the circumstance. And so now I'm trying to graduate out of that, and it's been years, but I'm really, really trying, Jones.
Okay.
I really am.
All right.
And so that's why I guess I feel like I should be like at least a 70-30. But if I'm still
I
like
give you
50,
60-40. I give you 60-40.
60-40, I'll take it.
I give
Because
you
I am
I give you 60. You making progress. I promise you are.
Because
I
what do I do when we be in the car and I
yeah,
just rub you?
oh Lord, I love that, y'all. I love it.
I'm very aware.
It's like,
now.
but it's like an eclipse, but I still love it.
It's rare.
Very blue moon.
It's not that rare.
Don't you hit me on camera, Tina.
It's not that rare.
It is.
I'm gonna have to listen to your truth because that's your truth, and I have to accept that being as your truth.
And I continue to make love deposits, and I just want to withdraw sometimes.
Yes. But do you think there's givers and receivers in the relationship?
For sure.
Yeah. But I don't want to be a receiver all the time. And so I recognize that, and that's why I'm like, I need to make an effort to show you. You know what I'm saying?
But that's me in itself, right?
Yes, that's absolutely your character trait.
Like I'm an affectionate type guy. Like, you know, I want to rub your feet. I want to rub your hair. You know what I'm saying? Oh, rub my fingers through your hair. I want to rub your back. And sometimes she don't even like it. She be like, I just don't like you rubbing in the same spot. I'm like, what?
That's so true. Like, he would want to rub me and rub, and it brings about almost a tickle sensation, and I'm really ticklish, and so he rub, and it'll tickle me more than it'll be sensual or anything like that, and so I'm just like, it just irritates. Like, stop.
And then, but the crazy part is, then that's when I had to. It's like I'm being rough, and I'll be like, dang, dog, you good? Like.
Yeah, so he'll try to rub me harder, and I'm like, that don't feel good either. Like, just no, it's too much. I can't. So I forgot what you do. Like, he'll rub my feet, and I'll be like, my feet tickle. Oh no, just don't worry about it. And then you try to rub it hard, and I'll be like, ow, it's not fun.
Yeah. I mean, again. So why you don't like being on the receiving end, or did I hear that wrong, or did you?
No, I'm just saying that some people are givers and receivers, and I've been more of a receiver in the relationship, and so I'm just trying to flip that role somewhat, and so I'm just trying to put in the work for betterment of the marriage because I know that you want to receive also, so I'm being more aware of what I'm giving you. In that aspect. So when we go to sleep, so when I rub my feet together, so I try to put my feet on your feet because you say that you don't mind. Yeah. So when I'm rubbing my feet together, put myself to sleep, I'm like, let me move my feet over to your side.
Yeah, because I mean, for real.
Add you to it.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. But again, like, I don't know, man. I just don't want to go to the massage parlor, see Maylene and them, and I can get a little bit of that at the crib. Well, I spend $50 and I can get it for free.
You're right. I would rather you get it for free. And I would rather Lean not do it and it be me do it. So I don't know. I really am trying. I really am trying. And as long as you see it.
I do see the progress.
I feel better because I am being very aware of my touch, me touching you, make sure you lay it on my chest, just stuff that I know that you would like. And then I think that it's bringing more out of me than I knew that I could do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I don't think affection was an issue when we were dating. And then when we got married, then we went through that whoosh, the hard time, and then everything just kind of, it was a whole shift.
Yeah.
And so that's the only thing I can think of that might have
I can see that,
changed anything. Anything else that you can think of? I don't know. I'm sorry. I guess I could apologize.
Okay.
Because I apologize that I wasn't
doing
all of those things that you asked me to, especially early on. Because again, like it wasn't about me, it was about us. And then you had your own stresses, I had my own stresses. But only if we would have had a conversation like we having now, then we would have been able to hopefully like fulfill everybody's request.
For sure.
But we couldn't fulfill everybody's request because we really weren't talking about it. We were just going day by day in the stresses, and then make mention of something that's lacking, but then we just kept going and kept going, but it was never a resolution.
Right.
Yeah, so we never had a resolution to it.
That's true.
I actually like talking about these things because it's like these are things that we never really went in depth of. We just lived through it, and now we're here.
I mean, hence the name. We love, we learn, and reflect. You know what I'm saying? So we're as we continue to go through these things, and it's in the crazy part. I'm about to say the bananas part about it, which is crazy, is that we come up with the topic, but we don't really discuss it until we actually get here. You know what I'm saying? Because it's something fresh, something new, something that we just kind of learn and grow each and every time we hit it.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, man. I don't know. It's definitely something that that we want to continue to do as a couple in our marriage and as we move forward. So
we should keep doing that, keep talking,
for sure.
And keep doing these because if anything, it's counseling us together, and hopefully it's counseling another couple to kind of have that deep conversation or conversation about what you're not receiving and things at that time and not later. Because I believe if you have that conversation at that time, then you'll be able to get through it together instead of on your own and having your own separate thoughts about a person, because you can have bad thoughts about a person because of things like that, or you can be wanting to sway and go somewhere different because of thinking the grass is greener on the other side.
I was just about to hit on that
and
too.
And it's really not, only because you weren't being affectionate, or you wasn't giving somebody like these love deposits that is better for them. Like his love deposits are different than my love deposit. What I desire is different. Like I don't like all that touching and stuff. It doesn't really do anything for me. But for him, that's what he wants. And so then I have to figure out, Jackie, what are you going to do to satisfy your husband in this manner, outside of sex? Right. And so
and just to kind of piggyback off what you said, and I'm gonna just speak from a male's perspective, and I kind of hit on it earlier, is that you definitely don't want your man to have a mindset of going to getting it from over here or around the corner. You know what I'm saying? Because it's unfortunately it's easy to do. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's very, very unfortunate, and it's just easy to do because a man in nature is a physical beast in itself. You know what I'm saying? And you just don't want that always to happen, or you just don't want him having that same mindset. Because in the beginning, a man doesn't think, what you are. You know what I'm saying? Like as far as what he would stand to lose, because he may think the grass is greener on the other side because Kim and them is giving, this kind of attention. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I can't remember if we read it or heard it somewhere that, you're only going to get 80% of what you need in the marriage anyway. So sometimes I think that's wrong. But I think with you, and I'm not trying to get any brownie points for later on. I think mine is a little bit higher just because of who you are, how we've grown together, and what we've gotten accomplished throughout this whole 10, 11 years. Right. You know what I'm saying? The hardships we've been through, the this, the that, you know what I'm saying? So it's definitely important, and again, like I said, I am so glad. One, thank you for apologizing, and I'm glad that you are working towards that. I've never felt like that way now that I just kind of got to go get it from somewhere else or whatever, but I know for sure what I have in you, so I won't be.
Right, because my overall is good. It's just like these little things that you can perfect. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like it would be nice if
and me too.
Yeah, it would be nice if you pull this in, pull this in, that'll help us in whole. Yep. So that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Yep. I just want to say for women out there, don't think just because you have this great body, this great look, and wear these great clothes and things like that, or you're a good dime piece on his arm, like that's all that this man is going to need. Like he's definitely going to require more attention than just the attention that you bring as being on his arm. Okay, we're gonna have to put in more work. When you get indebted in this marriage, there's more requirements than just being a showpiece. And so outside of being the showpiece, you have to be able to put in that work and actually talk to your man and understand what he needs as a man and what he desires as a man, and then actually let him know, okay, this is what I'm actually going to do for you. Because as women, I think we're mainly are receivers. We expect to receive the gifts, we expect to receive the babies, we expect to receive everything that we can think of being taken care of and all of that. But then we also want to be able to make sure that our husband is receiving from us. So make sure you put in that work for him as well. And
because when we feel like we're on the receiving end, that makes us go even harder.
Right? It'll make you work even harder, right?
Yep.
Which I've noticed, right?
Yep.
You love her more. You do more for her
Yep.
because you know that she's actually worth the work.
Yep.
That she's putting in. So
just the sweet nothings, the sweet pillow talk, all that stuff, man. You just it'll just all come together.
Come in.
Yep. So for us, our turning point was just being able to get through all the hard times, the crazy stuff, and actually get to the point where we're actually communicating. That you might hear that word come up in our videos a whole lot, is communication, because without that, we probably wouldn't even be here right now. Period.
Mm-hmm.
So, excuse me.
Really, I don't think there's anything else to say.
Nah, man, nothing else to say.
That was pretty quick and brutally honest.
Yeah.
I didn't think my percentage was gonna be as low as it was, but
I bumped you up.
You did bump me up, but I kind of expected it to be a little higher, higher than 60-40. But I'll take it and I'll keep putting it, and I'll keep doing stuff. And if you got a new bump for me to pop or rub your feet.
I don't have nothing right now, man. But
did I kiss your feet before? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes, she did.
Yes
She did. I'll give you that. I'll salute you, man.
So my percentage needs to be 61.
I give you 69.
69. I'll take it.
But yeah, so anyway, we gotta get off here before we start going crazy. So we appreciate you tuning in. Please like, subscribe, make a comment on our YouTube channel, LL&R, Love, Learn, and Reflect. We'll bring you back.
Love, and reflect.
That's what I just said.
Did you?
Just like we're gonna talk about that. Women always trying to correct you. God.
I'm your helpmate.
You are my helpmate, but you ain't gotta correct me all the time when I'm right. If I'm wrong.
When we play it back, we'll see if I was right or if he was wrong.
She lost. Anyway, like, subscribe, make some comments, any other content that you want to hear.
Y'all talking to us personally, but we need y'all to comment actually on the videos on YouTube.
Come on through.
Comment on our YouTube videos so we can get some dialogue going between each other. We really
sure.
love y'all.
We really appreciate it.
We're doing this to help everybody.
Yeah.
So go ahead and, like he said, like, comment, and subscribe, and look forward to us next week.
Thank you very much. Peace. We out.